Why should you join Best of Us Investors? Why should you join an investment tribe? Well, it's kind of like joining a church or an organization of people who have a common interest and have common goals and objectives, and you recognize that working together you can do better than working on your own. Now, your other options are that you can get a financial advisor or you can put your money with a large financial institution and pay anything from what most of your hedge funds go for 2% of what you have under management, and then they take 20%. And then the other way is to go to a financial advisor. And this is basically an individual who spends most of their time gathering money and then turning it over to financial analysts who then diversify it amongst the funds or the ETFs or the index funds that they have to give you a diversified portfolio. And I think that was probably a good decision up until about 3-4 years ago. And what happened then? Well, data became available. Information. As I said, I was a financial advisor, and up until 3 years ago, I did not have access to Amazon's books, to Google's books. I didn't have a place I could go on the internet and see what their projected earnings were going to be for the next quarter, for the next year, for the next 3 years. I didn't understand how they were deriving their PE ratio, and when I could not find access to their earnings calls where I could listen to their CEOs and their CFOs and explain to me what their plans were for the next quarter and the next year. I just got off a earnings call with Symbotics. Symbotics was down in anticipation of their earnings. They were down 10% yesterday, and then they're down another 20% today. And I listened to the call, and then I did a live stream. If you have any interest in Symbotics, I'd really encourage you to look into my menu, and you'll find the live stream that I did earlier this morning after listening to the earnings call. But what I learned was they're a new company. They're working to help Target and Walmart and other large distributors convert their distribution centers to robotics and artificial intelligence, and they've run into some potholes. They've run into some speed bumps, and they had to pull back on their projections of growth in the coming quarter. But see, 2025 is very strong. I didn't used to have access to that kind of information. You didn't have to used to have access to that information, but now we do. And then into that as well is we have artificial intelligence. Well, what is that? Well, after I listen to the earnings call and I want some more information, I can go to ChatGPT and say, dig in a little deeper on Symbotics and tell me more about what I just heard. In fact, I can take the transcript of the Symbotics call, put it into ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT to search the internet and see if there is any additional information that is out there that can give me more insight to what Symbotics earnings are going to be and what is the potential in the future, and go into a little more detail for me of what is their backlog and how is that backlog going to permeate, and then also explain more in detail to me. This is all on ChatGPT of their relationship with SoFi in this green box program that they have. I can do all that now that I could not have done back when I was a financial advisor, as far as that goes, 4 years ago. And what I will be able to do in the future for my community, for my church, for my tribe, is basically go and buy a Dell AI factory and have that factory programmed to do this work not only on Symbotics and not only on the 40 stocks that I currently track on my cheat sheet, but all the stocks in the world, and then bring it down to the 20, 30, 40 best, not only just in the semiconductor and the AI world, but in the whole world. Give me those best stocks, and I will have that computer to do that for me. Well, how was that done in the past? Well, Goldman Sachs does it. They have, 46,300 employees. They ask their employees, a certain number of those are stock analysts. They gave those stock analysts each maybe 10, 20, 30 stocks to follow, and they did that same thing that I'm going to ask my AI factory to do, and then I'm going to share that information with my tribe members, my church, my community, so that in essence we can do what Goldman Sachs does, what J.P. Morgan does, but we use a computer to do it. We're taking the evolution of compute. I want to show you something. Back in 1963, I think it was, I know it was, I was a freshman in college. I was a freshman at Ball State University, and I had an accounting class, and I went to Zales. Zales was before Kmart and Target and those, and I bought one of these. This is a Casio calculator. I think I paid $79 for it, if I remember. And that was a stretch for me as a freshman in college. And it adds, it subtracts, it multiplies, and it divides. This is the first computer that I owned. Okay? And so now I have sitting under my desk over there a $3,500 Dell computer that is water cooled and does all kinds of work for me. It accesses ChatGPT. It accesses trading views so I can do my charting. It accesses Seeking Alpha so I can get access to all the data on all the stocks that I choose to follow. It gives me Google Sheets so I can collect that data in Excel in a form so that I can understand it and I can do the calculations. The forerunner of all that was this. Well, that's where we're going next. Jensen basically told me that he has right now a computer that is, I think he said it weighs 70 pounds. It has 30,000 parts in it, and 8 of them are GPUs, and it sells for $250,000. Yeah. This now you can get for about $2.50. But that's the evolution of computers. And what is going to happen is that that server that Jensen is putting his GPUs in, and Supermicro is selling for $250,000, is going to be dumbed down to where it can handle my clients and the members of my community and my tribe, and we can. So when you come to my website, much as when you go to Amazon's website, it will greet you. It will have an avatar that probably will look like me and say, "Frank, what can I help you with today?" And the avatar will remember all the conversations that he and Frank have had in the past, and they will build a relationship, and he will have knowledge of what Frank's portfolio is, and they will have a conversation back and forth as to, what should I do with this? What do you think I should do? Or what are your recommendations relative to Symbotics being down 30%? Did you listen? Frank will ask, did you listen to the earnings call? What is your takeaway? Give me a summary of what you heard on the earnings call. And they will have that conversation. And then Fred will show up, and Fred will have a question on Rambus. Rambus is down 6% today. What's that all about? What caused? This is what's going to happen on my website, and it's going to be driven by my AI factory that I'll buy from Dell, that will have at least one of Jensen's GPUs in, and then it will have the Copilot from Microsoft, or the Gemini from Google, that will search all the internet and give me the answers to all the questions, and also give the answers to Fred and Frank for the questions that they ask, and we will have everything that Mark Zuckerberg has in his 2-acre data center up in Huntsville, Alabama. We'll have the capability to manage the information that is needed for the members of our tribe, for the members of our community. And it will be a collective that we go together to finance. So what is the financing? Well, right now it's $60 a month. I haven't bought the factory yet because Dell hasn't built it yet. I'm communicating with them, and what I know is they don't know how to build it yet because I am the end customer. The real money in this, all of this, is when I buy a factory and every other small business does as well. Dell's stock will go skyrocket, but they're still figuring out how to build it, much as Symbotics is going through the growing pains of how to build out Walmart centers cheaply and more economically so they can get their margins up from 15 to where they used to be 20 and where their objective is as at 25. We're building it out. I kind of compare it to, I remember I was born in 1944, so I don't remember when Eisenhower came back and said we need to build out the highway systems of the United States so that if we are ever attacked, we can move our equipment from one side of the country to the next. They didn't have as big airplanes as they do now, but the concrete had to be laid, okay? The street lights had to be put up, but the hotels, the first Holiday Inn wasn't built until 10, 15 years later. That's where we are now. We're building this out, and the street lights and the Holiday Inn are going to be my and your AI factory that we as a tribe benefit from to make better investment decisions. So to answer the question that I started with, why should you join Best of Us Investors so that you can be a part of this? So that you can be a part of a group of people. There are 33 million people in the United States who manage their own stock portfolios. I'm estimating there's another 33 million at least around the world. And as my AI factory and other people's AI factory, that number is going to grow. I mean, if I can do as well as a hedge fund, if I have all the data they have and all the information they have, why would I pay 2 and 20? Why would I do that if it's available to the rest of the world? In essence, what I'm doing is I'm leveling the playing field with JP Morgan, with Goldman Sachs, with ARK Invest, because I'm going to have access to all the data, but I'm also going to have access to all the knowledge and all the experience. And the computer will do it better than they can. That's the nuts and bolts. It all started right here in 1963 when I bought my first calculator. Now I'm going to buy my first AI factory, and I'm going to share it with you. That's why you should go to Best of Us Investors right now. We're not there yet, but we're at the forefront. We're doing what we're promising for 40 stocks right now. I listened to the earnings call. I did a live stream. Look for the live stream, and then you come and you tell me, do you want to take advantage of our 14-day free trial? And then you make a decision. Is this right for you? Is it right for you now, or is it right for you later? Should you wait and see what I put it together and how much I charge for it then? That's up to you, okay? I just want you to be in a place to make better investment decisions. That's my goal. That's my goal. I want to be at the leading edge of this, and I know somebody's going to copy me, and I don't know that Goldman Sachs might not buy me out. Say, you got a wonderful idea. You're going to take all our 2 and 20 away from us. Talk to you again tomorrow.